someone is using the supplements for and lifestyle recommendations for a specific problem or issue that they have, because there are people that take the supplements simply to enhance their nutritional status or to make sure that maybe they are not lacking some nutrition that they need. There are other people who take the supplements because they have a specific problem, let us say high blood pressure or arthritis or something like that. If you have a person who is taking the supplements because they have a specific problem that they want addressed, then I would say they should take for about 6 months, and then you as a distributor can reassess and discuss with them how they are doing with the products. Of course, if we have a situation like this, it's not a good idea to simply supply the products and not keep in touch with how the client is doing. I would say that you need to keep up maybe every 3 months or so to find out if they are noticing improvements, if there is any struggles that they're having, and so on. So that would be my answer to that. Those who are taking the supplements as nutritional enhancers need not worry about a prolonged usage. Those who are taking for a specific problem need to be maybe kept in touch with, so that we can know whether they are thriving with the products and their problems are getting addressed. Okay, then the next question I had was about low sperm count, which is also referred to as oligospermia. This is there is an average range which is considered to be the norm for sperm counts in men. And normally, what might happen is that if the sperm count is lower than a certain average, then it might contribute to reduced fertility in the man. And that makes it a cause for concern for those who want to start families. And so, in this question, what we would recommend is chelated zinc. As we know, zinc plays important roles in the male sexual hormones. We would also recommend vitamin C, sustained release, as well as Neolife shake. And if the person does not get adequate sun exposure, then we would also recommend that they supplement with vitamin D. Because as we know, vitamin D is in itself, in fact, considered a hormone rather than a vitamin, and it participates in very many hormonal activities in the body. So here on our continent of Africa, most of the places will have plenty of sunshine all year round, but for reasons maybe of occupation or preference, some people may not get as much sun exposure as they require. And so vitamin D supplementation may then be recommended for such a person. On the lifestyle side, for this particular issue of low sperm count, what we would recommend is exercise, which especially weight-bearing exercise, which help in normalizing the male sexual hormone balance, as well as it helps in maintaining a healthy weight. And one of the things that contributes to low sperm count is being obese. So if there is a question of obesity in the person, then normalizing the body weight would be useful. And here, of course, exercise would play a role as well. Exercise will also play a role in vitamin D if the person is able to exercise outdoors where they also get some sun exposure. Then we'd also recommend on the lifestyle side to resolve any stress in their life and any health problems, because some health issues can actually contribute to a low sperm count. Elimination of problem foods and habits. For example, things like sugar and junk food should be eliminated. And the use of drugs and alcohol should also be eliminated, because this can be contributing to the issue. And we also recommend eating enough good quality proteins and healthy fats, because all these will play an important role in not only the number but also the quality of sperm, because we consider not only that there is an adequate number of sperm in the semen, but also that the sperm are healthy and able to swim and move well. Then the next question I had was one where, as a result of some abnormalities in the body structure, a person was experiencing internal bleeding into the guts. And here, of course, my first recommendation would be to discuss with the doctor what is going on and what can be done in order to rectify the abnormality. And to help, our supplements here would mainly play the role of helping to replenish the body as a result of a blood loss. So we would recommend that they use chelated zinc to help with internal healing. We also would recommend multimineral alfalfa, which contains iron and other supplements that would be reduced as a result of blood loss. And we would then also recommend Neolife shake to give them a good quality protein supplement that is going to help them in replenishing what they're losing through bleeding. But as I've said, the first recommendation is to see the doctor and discuss what can be done if there's any interventions that can help. The first question I had was multiple sclerosis. This is another illness that is unfortunately becoming more and more common. It seems that especially with us people of African origin, if we live in countries, the temperate countries where sun exposure may be minimized, it increases our risk of that. And as I've said frequently before, if you are a dark-skinned person living in temperate climates, especially in the winter months when the sun is very weak, it is very, very important to get vitamin D supplementation, whether you are taking it as vitamin A plus D or you're taking it as vegan D. It is very important because there is a possibility of not getting enough of this very important vitamin. And so you would need to supplement as a matter of course, especially in winter, because in winter the sun is quite weak. And if you're dark skinned, it means that your skin already blocks quite a bit of the sun as a matter of course. And so chances of requiring supplementation are quite high. And also, of course, in order to avoid the deficiency illnesses that we may come across. Sorry, it's very hot today in Pretoria, so you're struggling a bit with the heat. Anyway, going on to, sorry, not going on, I was just talking a bit about multiple sclerosis. So our first supplement, of course, would be vitamin A plus D or vegan D in order to address that issue of vitamin D. And then we'd also recommend vitamin B complex, Pro Vitality as well. If maybe as a result of financial constraints, they are not able to take the whole Pro Vitality as we recommend, we would require that at least they use omega-3 salmon oil and multimineral alfalfa. So those are the recommendations there. Then the next question I had was about autism. Thanks. Was about autism, which is a developmental order in which there's an impairment in the ability to communicate and express emotions effectively. So this is another issue that is becoming progressively increased in our society. And unfortunately, so far, excuse me, there has been no cure. And we would recommend some lifestyle points as well as some Neolife supplements. Again, here we are not saying that we are going to be able to cure the autism. What we are aiming for is to improve the quality of life, and some of the nutritional interventions can help in doing that. So first of all, on the lifestyle side, we recommend the elimination of certain foods completely. And this would be, no, this one. We would ask that we eliminate dairy because it can be problematic for many people, and this could be something that is behind some of the problem. We'd also recommend the elimination of wheat with the gluten in it, which can also be a problem, and foods which have got additives, which means a lot of the food that you buy already packaged that have got preservatives and colorants and all those types of things. So those should be eliminated, more especially because one of the things that is linked with autism is an impaired ability to get rid of toxins. Then with this, of course, it means we want a diet free from junk food. And also another lifestyle point is that such a child and family would need quite a bit of social support because it is a difficult situation to live with day by day. I see there are some questions coming. What I will please ask you to do is to send a question either to me or to wait. We'll pick them up after the training from the recording, and we are going to be able to add them to the next Q&A. So then for the supplements for autism, what we recommend is coenzyme Q10, recommend cruciferous plus, omega-3 salmon oil, Beta-GAD, and Neolife shake. Now, there may be a problem with swallowing with certain cases of autism. So in that case, what we would say is that the tablets, the supplements that come in tablet form would have to be ground and mixed in with food. And if it is omega-3 salmon oil, it may be necessary to cut it open and squeeze it into a drink. This is because some of the children with autism can struggle with swallowing the capsules or the tablets. So those are the recommendations: coenzyme Q10, cruciferous plus, omega-3 salmon oil, Beta-GAD, and Neolife shake. Then the next question I had was about sciatica. Here with sciatica, the pain that is usually runs from the thigh and the buttock muscles, we would recommend a visit to the physiotherapist who would recommend useful exercises and stretches for the person that can help to alleviate some of the pain. And on the Neolife side, we recommend magnesium complex, chelated zinc, vitamin B complex, and omega-3 salmon oil. So as I've said, my exercises and stretching could also help. But in order to get the right set of exercises, I think a physiotherapist would help. Then another question I had from on several occasions and with different aspects, which I'll combine under the heading of weight management. So there are quite a number of questions about this. And I suppose as we head for the festive season, we may also find that we need to be thinking about how to minimize the amount of weight gain that we might incur as a result of our celebrations. So we keep that at the back of our minds, but of course we do remember that celebrations are celebrations. We should not deny ourselves the joys of life, but also to keep in mind that things can get a little bit out of hand. So on the side of weight maintenance or reduction, some lifestyle recommendations include stop snacking. So the problem with snacking is that if a person especially has got a problem with portion sizes, that they tend to take large portions, then the snacking can easily get out of hand. So what begins as a snack might end up being a meal, but the meal might not be enough to fill the person as a proper meal would. So snacking can be problematic if someone has got weight issues. It is better rather to eat a larger meal, so the snack can be incorporated into the meal so that you eat at the meal to satisfaction rather than to eat many small meals as well as the food that we are taking, because also many snacks are unhealthy. And if we take some of those snacks, then they upset our sugar balance and can even lead to cravings. So to watch out for the snacking and rather focus on good, wholesome meals. Then we also recommend eliminating sugar and refined carbohydrates because most of us only use this to create fat. So eliminate sugar and refined carbohydrates, rather go for wholesome carbohydrates. And for those who need to lose weight, even the carbohydrates in general should be kept on the lower side unless you are exercising quite heavily. And as we go during the holidays, maybe we'll not be exercising as much as normal. But I would still recommend that even during the holidays, we incorporate some exercise such as walking, jogging in our day-to-day schedule. Then we should also try as much as possible to return to our traditional diets of whole foods, because the problem of obesity is one that has come to us from westernizing our diet. And so, as much as possible, to return to our traditional whole foods. These are the foods with which we have evolved, and they are the foods that actually help us to maintain a healthy body weight because they have not been processed and they do not have all these problematic additives that inflame our bodies and contribute to weight gain and obesity. Then we focus on eating to satisfaction rather than to fullness. So if we have got a weight issue, then we focus on trying to pinpoint the point at which we are satisfied, rather than the point at which we are full and there is no more space. So this is something that maybe we need to keep a keen eye on. And this, of course, is another reason why snacking can be a problem. So rather focus on having better, wholesome meals and trying to eat only until you're satisfied and then stopping at that point. Then from the Neolife side, we recommend the Neolife shake, which can be used to replace at least one meal. Let us say you'll be having 3 meals. Then one meal could be the Neolife shake. Maybe it can be your breakfast or your dinner. In general, to keep a healthy weight, it's recommended that we do not eat a heavy meal within the 3 hours of going to bed. So the evening meal should either be taken earlier or should be a lighter meal so that we don't go to bed with a heavy, full stomach. Because what will happen is that a lot of that food might probably be converted into fat because we'll not be burning it for energy. So in some cases, people find that it is beneficial to eat a lighter meal in the evening, or some prefer a lighter breakfast. So depending on your own specific physiology, you can test and see where the Neolife. Then we also recommend, which is amino acid preparation that helps to build non-fatty tissue and mobilize the fat deposits to be used by our body. Because one of the problems we have is some of us, our bodies tend to cling to our fat deposits and never wants to burn them, which means that it keeps on accumulating. So amidone can help in some cases with that. Neolife tea also can be helpful in boosting energy, because sometimes we may find as a result, as we go through the process of reducing our portion sizes, we may get a bit hungry and lacking in energy. And the Neolife tea actually can help with that. Of course, we would take it without sugar. Then another aspect of the question was for 1 or 2 people who were speaking about weight gain. So they want to gain weight. And here on the Neolife side, we recommend N to improve cellular nutrition. And then we also recommend that they incorporate some light exercise to improve their appetite, because one of the problems that leads to the inability to gain weight is having a poor or very small appetite. So a bit of exercise or activity, with some vigorous activity, actually does help in improving the appetite. Then we recommend that they use N, and we recommend also that they use Neolife Shake to get a good quality protein, and that their diet should be a healthy diet, but a rich diet. So where some of us maybe because of trying to avoid weight gain, we may omit certain not unhealthy items from our diet. People who want to lose weight can go for a richer diet that has got more calories than those who are trying to lose weight. Another person said that they were using Neolife Shake and fiber tablets, And what they were finding is that they were hoping that this would help them to reduce their appetite, but instead they were finding that their appetite was increasing. This can also be not only an increase in appetite, but a food craving. So here, what I think I recommended before is to eat fewer meals. That is to avoid snacking, because sometimes a snack can lead to craving, but rather to prepare two wholesome meals in the day where a person can eat to satisfaction and then not eat during the rest of the time, and thereby give the body time to digest and use up that meal, rather than having many meals added onto their day's food. So fewer, more wholesome meals, so that the person is not hungry all the time. We also recommend that you do not go into these types of extreme diets that we find in magazines and online, where people recommend all kinds of outlandish things. Rather, focus on a good, wholesome diet and eat until you're satisfied, but not until you're full. And of course, initially, especially if a person has been in the habit of overeating, it's going to be an adjustment, and this cannot be avoided, because if you have been used to eating a certain amount of food and then you are reducing it, your body is going to ask for the amount it is used to. But by persisting, I believe it says for about 3 weeks before you adjust to the new portion size, then the discomfort is going to become less. So these changes in our eating habits do not happen overnight. So for instance, if you are used to having a large breakfast and you start just having the Neolife shake and maybe Pro Vitality, you may find that it's uncomfortable and you are craving to eat. But if you stick with it after a period of about 3 weeks, then the body adjusts to the lower amount of food. Then we also recommend in this to find alternative ways of dealing with food cravings. So, for example, instead of walking next to the fridge, visiting the kitchen many times because you're hungry, maybe go for a walk out in the streets so that you get out of that urge to eat. Because usually when you start doing something else that occupies you, then the hunger pangs are actually going to wear off, and the urge to eat will wear off. Another thing that actually helps can be botanical balance, because some people could be having these food cravings because of pre-diabetes, or that their sugar metabolism is not working as well as it should. So by using botanical balance, it can actually help to address some of those issues. So that is that about that question. Then the final question that I'm going to take today is about acne. So acne, as we know, is a skin problem that is common amongst adolescents. But for some people, more and more, we are noticing that it persists even into adulthood. In adolescence, it's usually linked to hormonal changes that are associated with puberty. But for people who are not going through puberty, it could be as a result of stress, or it can be the result of certain kinds of foods that disagree with us. Because you remember that the skin on our bodies and the skin in our gut is actually a continuous tissue. So as you can see in my mouth, the skin goes into my mouth and into my gut. So the skin, what if a food in my gut is not agreeing with my system, then one of the ways my body can show it is by reactions on the surface of my body, which could be acne, it could be rashes on other body parts, and so on. So this person who is suffering from acne, it can be recommended that you clean up the diet, eliminate junk food and problem foods, try to identify whether certain foods makes the problem worse. And then also there are certain drugs and medications that can contribute to acne. So for acne on the lifestyle side, we recommend drinking plenty of clean water, We recommend avoiding harsh cleansers because what we notice is that some of the people out there recommend cleansers to cleanse the skin because they assume that the reason why the skin is breaking out is because it's not adequately cleansed. Unfortunately, when the skin is already inflamed, using harsh cleansers just make the skin react more. So for that reason, avoid harsh cleansers. I'll recommend one of our cleansers that is quite useful. And so on the Neolife side, we recommend the use of vitamin A plus D, as well as chelated zinc for acne. And then to apply, we recommend using makeup remover as the cleanser because this is a very nice cleanser. It's very mild, but it is very thorough. So it's not going to cause the skin to overreact, but it is going to clean the skin well. Then we also recommend the use of aloe vera gel, which, as a result, as we say, aloe vera is for many thousands of years been used to settle and calm the skin from inflammation and reaction. For people with dry skin, they may find the use of plain aloe vera gel a bit too light. So here they can either use a moisturizer that suits their skin from the nutrients range, or they can use a little bit of glycerin with the aloe vera gel just to add a bit of, to make the aloe vera a little bit heavy if they've got a dry type of a skin that tends to get dry. So I think that as the time is up, and also the questions that I've prepared, I've completed. I would like very much to thank you for the time we have had, not only today, but also for all of this year 2023, having been faithfully joining us on our Thursday evening training and our Monday evening presentations. I hope that it has been a useful addition to your business and to your lifestyle. And I want to finish by wishing you all the very best in this festive season. May you be loved and love those who are around you, and may the blessings that come with this season pour on you abundantly and richly. And with that, let me hand you over to Pascal, who will take you through the second part of today's session,